If you've watched TVW for any length of time, you know that we love to support locally owned businesses. Perhaps even some of you are watching right now and you have an idea for a great new local business here in Dane County or the surrounding areas. But don't start it up just yet until maybe you've talked with a lawyer. And we're going to talk with a lawyer right now. This is Jason Reed from Murphy Desmond. He's going to talk to us a little bit about the importance of working with a lawyer when you're starting your business. Jason, how are you?
Good, Justin. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So most people realize the benefits of talking with a lawyer if they have a new business idea. When someone reaches out to you about their startup, what does the first conversation typically look like?
Yeah, when someone reaches out to talk about their business, I naturally have a number of questions. And rather than firing those questions off, I found it's easiest to get those answers by having the owner describe to me in their own words their business, specifically looking for them to talk about where they're at in their business. Are they still in the idea stage, or are they in operations? Do they have a business plan or a business model? Are they selling a product or a service? Where are they selling that, and who are they selling it to? I also like to know, are there any other individuals or people involved, other investors, other managers, employees? I also like to get a sense of where the owner sees themselves in 6 months, in a year, or even 5 years from now. All this information not only gives me background in the owner's business, but it also helps me identify and prioritize their particular legal needs and how we at Murphy Desmond can work to address those needs.
From a legal standpoint, what would you say is the most important thing to be considered if someone is thinking of starting a business?
Yeah, the first major decision that an owner needs to decide is what entity structure makes sense for them. Here, we're generally talking about a limited liability company, or LLC, as it's commonly referred to, or a corporation. Most instances, an LLC is going to make sense. The structure provides or allows for a great deal of operational flexibility, while at the same time protecting the owner's assets, personal assets, from potential liabilities for operations of the business. So once we have that structure in place, we then need to look at putting together what's called an operating agreement. And by its name, you can get a sense of really that this document is one that sets the foundation for how the company will operate and the relationship that the owners are going to have.
Yeah, talk to us a little bit more about that operating agreement in more detail and why that's important.
Yeah, certainly. An operating agreement, like I said, is a legal document or contract among the owners of the business that's going to set the stage or the foundation and define the internal function of the company, as well as the rights and responsibilities that these owners have towards one another. Typical provisions of an operating agreement include provisions on formation, management, voting rights, ownership interest. They can also define allocations of profits and losses, when the company will make distributions, how it will wind up operations. So again, focusing internally on how the business will operate. Outside of that, we also need to look at allowing a member or owner to transition out of the business. And we can do that by a separate agreement, typically what's called a buy-sell agreement.
Yeah, what is a buy-sell agreement and how does that work? And is that something that's set up when the business is set up?
Yeah, great question. Yes, it's something that we like to put in place early on. It's a document that addresses the transferability of ownership interest in the company. Sometimes these agreements are called shareholder agreements or member unit agreements, but they're one that define instances or what we call triggering events that may give the owner the ability to sell their interest or the obligation to do so. Triggering events are typically what happens in the event of death, divorce, disability, insolvency, or even incapacity of a member. The agreement also defines how the interest is valued and how it's paid for.
Okay, that's a lot to think about. We've got just about 30 seconds left, but I suppose in addition to internal agreements, there are a lot of external contracts for the business as well.
Yeah, external agreements that the company's going to enter are really important. They may include customer, supplier, vendor agreements. We should really have those reviewed by your attorney ahead of time. It's easier to negotiate those on the front end than try and renegotiate those on the back end. This is something Murphy Desmond does day in and day out. We have a very robust business practice group to do that. I'm happy to have that conversation with you. Just give us a call.
Murphy Desmond, Jason Reed from Murphy Desmond, I should mention, thank you so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Don't go away. There's more after the break.